Like, what's the job progression from there?
Sure. So you can follow one of the paths that they lay out on Salesforce, but do you mean you're boxed in as far as you have to go further to Salesforce?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess in that way, yes, your fate is very much tied to Salesforce and whether or not people continue to use it. But what a lot of people do is they get certifications in integrations, right? So an integration basically is another application that ties into Salesforce that works with it, right? And there's quite a lot of them that do. So a good example would be like DocuSign, which is a company that allows people to send and sign documents online. A lot of people have used it before, but you could get experience in DocuSign, and that complements your Salesforce experience, and it also gives you another pathway too.
I see.
Yeah, but a lot of people, like a Salesforce developer, is pretty pegged into Salesforce. You kind of have to. You kind of have to be a Salesforce developer because it's very specific to Salesforce. You may have some additional coding knowledge that you could then turn into being a Salesforce developer. But if you're a Salesforce developer, you'd probably have a hard time transitioning out of that into something else.
So this might be a kind of a silly question, but if you're a Salesforce admin, does that give you any experience in being an administrator over a different CRM system, or not really?
I would think that would make you attractive if you had certification or experience in another CRM.
What if you didn't have any certification? But like, so you're a Salesforce admin, you have some experience to Salesforce admin work, like you're already doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
Does that translate to HubSpot or Zoho CRM or?
I wouldn't say directly because I don't know that I could get into those environments and know what's going on. But I think that for a lot of admin roles, it's a very similar thing. You're going to be interacting with users, resetting passwords, making sure that just stewarding the instance or whatever version of it they're using. So I think in principle, if somebody was looking at your resume, I think that would be a good thing, but I don't know that it would get you the job.
Yeah.
It probably would over somebody that has no experience. But if you're looking at somebody with, years of HubSpot experience and you have Salesforce and a little bit of HubSpot, they're going to pick the HubSpot admin over you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially since CRMs are very sticky relationships, right? I mean,
very much so.
It's like if you're using Salesforce, if your company's using Salesforce now, it's not like they're going to switch over to a different system, different CRM system or anything like that anytime soon.
It would be a massive undertaking to do so. And by massive undertaking, I mean, you now have to switch all of your information over to the other one, and you're going to need big teams and it's going to be an ongoing expensive project to do so.
Right.
Yeah.
What does a typical day look like?
Yeah, so for a lot of Salesforce admins, it's very similar, I think, to probably cybersecurity people in that you don't really do that much. It's your job to be there in case something happens or in case an upper management person wants you to do something. But you're there in case someone has a problem logging in. You're there in case someone they get in and then their information's not loading, right? Their page isn't loading for some reason. You're there in case they hire new people and you have to onboard them and you have to teach them how to use it. You're there in case they rolled out a new feature that a developer built and you need to teach the users how to use that feature and how to use it in Salesforce. And then you're there to, like I said, make reports and then show those reports to management if there's a meeting or something like that. But most of the time, you're there if there's additional work or restructuring that the management wants done, you're doing that. And if you're not doing that, you're just waiting.